Hey everyone, Dave C. here, founder and lead instructional designer for EverSafe Media. Welcome to the first lesson in this 5-part video series, WHMIS 2015 for Employers. I really want to thank you for signing up for this, and I think it's awesome that you want to improve your health and safety program and stay up to date with the current and changing WHMIS legislation. This mini course was made for safety professionals, managers, supervisors, and really anyone who may be responsible for safety in their workplace. If you need WHMIS training for your workers, you can use the updated WHMIS 2015 training PowerPoint that was included in your free program download. If you're looking for an even simpler way to train your workers, EverSafe offers a really great solution that practically automates the process for you. Keep in mind that this course here is somewhat static, meaning that it provides you with information, but you don't really interact with it. EverSafe Media's WHMIS 2015 for Workers course is a 60-minute dynamic course that your workers interact with, and it concludes with a trackable exam. Workers are also awarded a certificate and wallet card once complete. You can find out more by checking out www.eversafe.ca, and we'll also talk just a bit more about it at the end of this lesson. This course is brought to you by EverSafe Media, innovative provider of workplace safety and development solutions. EverSafe provides dynamic safety training, exams, record keeping, and certificate management through its super simple online training platform, and basically takes the heavy lifting out of managing your safety training program. If this is the first time you and I have had a chance to work together, let me share a real quick introduction. My name is Dave, and I'm the founder and lead instructional designer for EverSafe Media. I've also been a safety and health professional for about 19 years in positions ranging from health and safety coordinator, managing the safety programs for just a single facility, to corporate director of health and safety, managing over 15 manufacturing locations, including full teams of safety professionals and thousands of hourly employees. Prior to my tenure as a safety professional, I held several management positions ranging from shop floor team leader to assistant plant manager and everything in between. So I've been fortunate enough to see multiple sides of the business. Also, having been a skydiving instructor and body flight coach for over 15 years, I've had the opportunity to be involved with safety pretty extensively outside of the workplace as well. Okay, so enough about EverSafe and enough about me. As fellow safety professionals, we know how ridiculously busy you are, so we've made this course brief and to the point. It's broken down into bite-sized chunks spread out over several days, so it'll be super easy for you to digest. Oh, just one more thing. In the final lesson of this course, I'll be giving you a complimentary WHMIS 2015 for Workers online course credit, absolutely free. So make sure you stick around right up until the end to get the details. Okay, let's get started. All right, so throughout these lessons, I'm going to walk you through the changes that came into effect this year with WHMIS, now referred to as WHMIS 2015, and the things that you need to do to make sure that your company's WHMIS program is compliant and that your employees stay safe. The course outline looks something like this. In Lesson 1, I'll be giving you a general overview of the changes to WHMIS and talk about rights and responsibilities. In Lesson 2, we'll be covering labels, which have changed from the previous WHMIS 1988. Lesson 3 covers the new hazard classifications and pictograms. In Lesson 4, we'll go over safety data sheets, the replacement for material safety data sheets. And finally, in Lesson 5, we'll cover WHMIS training requirements and some of the awesome tools that you have available to make your training initiative super simple. All right, WHMIS 2015. So in February 2015, Canada finally aligned WHMIS with the globally harmonized system of classification and labeling of chemicals. Most of us knew it was coming and wondered when Canada would jump on the bandwagon. After all, the US's Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, updated its HAZCOM standard in 2012. GHS is a global system that was developed by the United Nations with the expectation that it would increase safety for employees who work with or around hazardous chemicals. GHS standardizes how chemical hazards are classified and how the health and safety information associated with the products are communicated. So basically, the exact same thing that WHMIS was created for, except GHS is meant to standardize this on a global scale. Makes perfect sense considering how much importing and exporting is happening these days. Think about it. What if your company was getting hazardous products from 3 different countries, and each of those countries had a different system in place for classifying and communicating information about them? This could really be confusing for your workers, and it would be a nightmare to train everyone and stay up to speed on all the different systems. So GHS is a good thing, and the changes to WHMIS are very much welcomed. So rather than forcing employers to make abrupt changes to the programs, Canada has implemented a 3-phase execution of WHMIS 2015 that is synchronized nationally across federal, provincial, and territorial jurisdictions. This 3-phase execution establishes staggered deadlines for compliance and implementation for manufacturers, distributors, importers, and employers. The transition period allows time for partners and stakeholders to make the necessary legislative, regulatory, and system adjustments. It also gives time for old labels and material safety data sheets to be predictably removed from the supply chain and the workforce. Also, it gives time for increased employer and worker awareness and understanding of changes that we're discussing today. Also, it allows for greater consistency across Canada through the coordination and alignment between federal, provincial, and territorial jurisdictions. Here's what the transition period looks like. Phase 1 started in February 2015 and it'll run through until May 2017. During this phase, manufacturers, importers, and distributors must comply with WHMIS 1988 or WHMIS 2015. They cannot use a combination of both systems. They must choose one or the other. Phase 2 starts in June 1st, 2017 and lasts until May 31st, 2018. Throughout this phase, manufacturers and importers have to comply with WHMIS 2015. Distributors have to comply with either of the systems again, but not a combination of both, so only one or the other. Phase 3 starts June 1st, 2018 and ends on November 30th, 2018. Manufacturers, importers, and distributors must comply with WHMIS 2015 during this phase. What this means is that after November 30th, you shouldn't receive anything in your workplace that's not aligned with the new systems. No old labels, no old school symbols, and no WHMIS 1988 material safety data sheets. Now, you can still have some elements left over from the old system from June to November, but by December 2018, everyone needs to be fully transitioned to the new system and no remnants of the old system should remain in your workplace. And that's it, the transition will be finished. One thing that doesn't change with WHMIS 2015 is the roles and responsibilities of suppliers, buyers, and workers. As an employer, you still need to make sure that all hazardous materials in your workplace are labeled. You need to make sure that safety data sheets or material safety data sheets are easy for workers to find and read. And you also need to educate and train workers on WHMIS and the safe handling and use of the products in the workplace. So one thing that is a little different is that you'll be seeing more and more products with the new WHMIS 2015 elements, including the new labels and pictograms. But there still will be plenty of chemicals with elements from the old system. You'll need to make sure that your workers have training on both the old WHMIS 1988 elements as well as the new WHMIS 2015 elements. Hopefully at this point your training is up to date, but if it isn't, here are a couple options to get there. Option 1 is hiring an external trainer. This option is okay if it's in your budget and it's easy for you to get your workers all together at the same time. There's a ton of companies out there and a lot of good trainers. Some of the negatives with this method, of course, is the cost, getting everyone together, and possibly having a lack of consistency in materials if you need to do several sessions or you're using different trainers. It's also pretty easy to have people fall through the cracks and miss their training. Using our free WHMIS training materials is a great option if you like to handle training on your own or if you have your managers or supervisors conduct the training. You should have already received these materials that include a PowerPoint training presentation, a final quiz, sign-in sheet, and certificate templates to make things even easier for you. The training PowerPoint includes all the updated WHMIS 2015 elements so your workers can be brought up to speed on what they need to know. This method works really well if you have the time and resources to facilitate the training. All of the scheduling, marking quizzes, and filing is definitely a pain, but again, this is a good option if you have the time. Finally, you can use online training by EverSafe Media. EverSafe has an awesome, updated WHMIS 2015 online course that can be deployed with such little effort using a simple but incredibly powerful online training platform. This method has the ability to pretty much automate your entire WHMIS training process and gives you everything that you need to get compliant, keep your workers safe, and save you a ton of time. Let me show you one of the super simple ways that you can get your workers trained on WHMIS 2015 using something called an enrollment key. Go to eversafe.ca and log into your facilitator account. Click on the View Purchase Course button. Click on the Manage Enrollment Keys link next to the WHMIS 2015 for Workers course. Type in a unique alphanumeric phrase into the enrollment key field and click Add. Now all you have to do is give this enrollment key to your workers and direct them to eversafe.ca to sign up for a student training account. While they're signing up, they enter this enrollment key into the registration form, and after submitting, not only are they granted the WHMIS training course, but they're also linked to your company's facilitator account. Your workers can now complete the training at their own pace, and you can easily view their progress, training status, and performance at any time. When workers finish their training after about 60 minutes, they're awarded a certificate and wallet card, which is stored in our system forever. A lot of companies taking advantage of EverSafe even let their workers take the training while they're at home. This way, there's no disruption to productivity whatsoever. There's a ton of other awesome benefits to using EverSafe that I'd love to show you, but we've run out of time for this lesson. Stay tuned for the next lesson where we'll be looking at WHMIS 2015's new labeling requirements. Good luck, have fun, live safe, see you next time.